Gigya is in the business of managing customer identities, and what that means is when customers actually come and visit your digital property, it could be using a mobile phone or web property, you're basically coming in anonymously. We take that from anonymity to actually putting an identity to the user, and we do that in 3 different phases. One is what's called the connect phase, where we give you multiple registration screens which you can customize, and basically if a user wants to log in with Facebook or any of their social network based on the region they're coming in from, you could potentially log in with those. And once the connection has happened between the user and the digital property, the next phase is you start building trust. I think the biggest difference is the way in which our solution is actually architected. So the first thing is we are a cloud-based solution, which means that wherever you're coming in from, whichever part of the world, you can actually customize the solution based on the region. So, if the customer is actually sitting someplace in China and they want to cater to their population, then we actually have the ability to provide login information based on social networks in China. It could be the same thing with the US. We've got to the point where marketers can segment markets, but you still get segmented population. But how do I actually start getting into who's the specific user? How do I personalize this experience for you? Because there's a huge variety of data, where you go in and post information on Facebook, or you go update something on LinkedIn, could be a different social network, Pinterest, so on, right? How do I take that variety of data, the kind of volume at which it's being produced, 250,000 photos being updated every second on Facebook, right? So how do I take that kind of data and the velocity, the speed at which all this is happening, and help you build a single personal, individual's profile? It's a mix of different solutions, because there are existing solutions that help with the customer, determining the segmentation. But then from there, they start looking at internal applications with which they have user population information, and they're trying to build all of this on their own, right? Most of the time we see customers, utilizing existing identity management solutions or existing in-house solutions that they've built, and kind of overlay that with marketing solutions. And that's not really scaling, because it's built on older systems. It's not really cloud-based. They can't, in order to bring in data from external sources, they need to customize it extensively, and it's not really scaling. That's where we really step. It's definitely the move from, just segment to personalization. That's the other area, that's the big area that we are seeing. So if you think about what's happened in the past, it's always been, I know, these are the set of people, they live in this kind of a neighborhood, and they, potentially own this kind of a car, and they basically read this kind of a newspaper. This is kind of the segmentation we've seen. But, what we've seen the last year is that customer behavior changes based on the current interest, based on how they see interactions with others, and what they like in the social media and so on. So we see a lot of that coming in. So I believe personalization is the biggest growth tactic that's emerging.